Hey ladies and gents, we're going to do a quick demonstration and take some data on how to measure the volume of a solid glass fragment using the water displacement method. So obviously we're going to need a graduated cylinder to do this. The graduated cylinder you pick should be just large enough to fit your fragment down through the top, like so. You don't want it too big because that will make the volume measurement a little bit more inaccurate because the gradations on the graduated cylinder will be a little bit larger than what you need. You're then going to need to place some water into the graduated cylinder, which I've already done. You want to make sure you place enough so that the glass fragment will be covered completely by the water, but that by putting the glass fragment in, it won't get it up above the gradation. So we have it at 5 milliliters right now, so that's what we measured. You also want to make sure you take a look at what the gradation marks on the graduated cylinder actually represent and stand for. So if we pick this thing up and take a look at it, you'll see, well, there's our meniscus at the 5 milliliter mark, so just about perfect. But between the 5 and the 6, you'll notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, which means each of those lines is the equivalent of 2/10 of a milliliter or 0.2 milliliters. This is important to remember for when we take our second measurement with the glass shard inside the water itself. So definitely your initial measurement is going to be 5 milliliters. So 5.0 milliliters is our initial measurement for our volume of our graduated cylinder and the water. Now all we have to do is place our glass fragment inside. Now to do this, I actually like to essentially tilt our cylinder on its side so that the glass fragment will essentially slide in nice and gentle without making too much of a splash or too many bubbles. The bubbles can kind of throw off your measurement a little bit. Sometimes I like to tap to make sure all the bubbles are out before we take the volume. And then we have to measure our volume. So at this point, this is going to be our second volume. So just after our initial volume, let's hold this up so we can see it. So what do we see? So we see, well, there's the 5. So 1, 2, and about a half of a mark above the 5. So remember, each mark is 2 or 0.2 milliliters. So it'd be 0.2, 0.4. We're about halfway between the 0.4 and the 0.6. So it'd be 0.5 milliliters would be the volume of this piece of glass. So essentially what we would have to do is subtract. So 5.5 milliliters minus 5 milliliters, which is our initial, gives us the volume of 0.5 milliliters for our actual volume of our solid. Now we're going to take some pictures and do the same thing with our second glass fragment, that you're going to have to read the marks on the graduated cylinder and do the math yourself. So remember, for this one, it is 0.5 milliliters.